Having said that, there are companies which are already starting to do it in areas where they have a competitive edge. For example, in the pharma business. Yeah. Clearly, Indian companies are starting to take the lead in molecule discovery. So I guess that this will start to happen across industries.
Do we have to get beyond just product innovation? For example, today, Kumar, we've got a huge farming community. We need to start thinking of ideas that go beyond just a product that can sound or look revolutionary and do process innovation, one that could actually benefit us internally.
No, I think innovation is sector agnostic, right? It could be in farming, it could be in manufacturing. I think that there are two things. One is, in some instances, it's a matter of just financing it. If your competitor abroad spends 10% of your turnover on funding basic research, then it makes it difficult. So we're good at the D part of R&D, not on R. One other issue that I think is important is that we, as a society, we actually exist in islands. So we don't have any sort of cross-linkages between, let's say, academia, industry, other technical institutions. So I think that is a way of life, or that is sort of a system that needs to get institutionalized. I think that played a very large role in the case of developed economies and encouraging innovation and commercializing.
Comment from you. I mean, Unilever has looked into the Indian market as as an example. How did that work?
I think in many ways the advantage of India sometimes can become a disadvantage. When you have such a big domestic market, and particularly a market where there are large numbers of people at the mass end or the bottom end of the pyramid, a lot of our innovation is focused around cost innovation. And a lot of it is around affordability, and which, by the way, is nothing wrong with it. That's great. But I think what we also have to sort of get better at is our ability to create differentiated products, to do value-added innovation. And I personally think that the most important thing there is to create ecosystems which allow that innovation culture to thrive. Right. It's not about one company or the other. How many Silicon Valleys do we have, for example? Do we have the right kind of ecosystem where people, and I think, Kumar, you made that point, we are feeding into each other from academia to industry. And I think it is that ultimately will deliver long-term competitive advantage.
My name is Dhruvesh Sanghvi from Mumbai. Thanks to ET Now, now I'm a proud owner of an iPad 2. It has really made my Navratri very special. Hope to see more of these initiatives coming from ET Now, India's #1 stock market channel.
New Vivelle Luxury Creme Soap is packed very carefully. Gently undo the silver ribbon and the clear wrap. Tenderly open the unique flip-top box and unveil your invitation to experience buttery, soft skin enriched with shea butter. ITC's new Vivelle Luxury Creme Soap.
We have a product where we forecast the actual sales the company is going to achieve.
We make both companies and women work flex ready.
Our main aim is to reach as many people as possible.
Which business maverick will change the game?
Very excited about the quality of entrepreneurs we just saw.
So I must confess that we found it very challenging. This has been really a tough decision.
Follow the journey of ambition with entrepreneurs who define success. Watch Pioneering Spirit, a product of Lufthansa. Only on ET Now.
This Diwali, safeguard your valuables and fly to Malaysia. To avail this offer, simply buy any Godrej home security product.
We always talk about India's demographic dividend on one level, and then we have this democracy which we love and hold, with great, a big hug, because we have China to compare with, which doesn't have a voice of its own people. But yet, when we look at China, it's economically miles and decades ahead of us.
Well, maybe just about a decade ahead. I'm not very pessimistic on that front. I think that lead has not been widening. In fact, we don't have the time possible. But we can go into several areas where the lead is shortening, and it's very visible. The challenge is that if the inaction that we see at this point in time, which all of us mentioned, if that is not addressed in the near term, then I think we risk the danger of this lead widening. So I think it's imperative that we do not let this happen, because it's not us versus China or us versus them. It is us versus ourselves for our own good, and we need to do this for our own good.
Okay, I'm going to wrap this up with just a couple of more questions. Jamie, one is that if you were to sort of look at this landscape, and I know you'll say every economy is different and therefore it has to be approached differently, but you certainly are looking at an opportunity within the BRICS. Is India on top of that opportunity list, or are we somewhere in the middle?
You know, I was just listening to a little bit you were saying. Winston Churchill used to say about America that Americans will do the right thing after they've exhausted all other possibilities. Because I was thinking about how messy a democracy can be when it gets to the answer, but I wouldn't give it up for the other alternative. So I think it's very important we recognize that.
But one would live with slow decision making, which we are right now.
Look, if that was the price you had to live for democracy, damn straight I'd give it up. But I think there are other things you got to really measure which are important: governance, corruption, open markets, fair trade, and all those things have to be done well. So when you say, is it among the high ones? Well, I probably would say Brazil might be a little higher, but it's probably higher than some others. But you got to be very careful when you put those together. So it's still a hugely attractive place to invest and grow. Remember, we actually don't deal much with the consumers. We deal with the companies that deal with consumers, and they have been doing very well, and they've been doing well globally.
Let's take this to what some of the factors that he talked about: fair trade and policy, corruption in India today. We have a great amount of social unrest, something that India and China have been warned about, because eventually you're going to see inequalities grow as India continues to rise on the economic ladder. How do you think companies in general can deal with something like that?
I think companies have to recognize that their role is ultimately to grow their businesses, and as a result of that growth, provide employment, create value in societies. So I think, to my mind, a business that runs, what is good for business can also be good for society. We have to recognize that. There is no decoupling here. I think what is terrible is when you run a bad business, you don't make money, or you run a business that is only for the short term, or a business that is corrupt, or a business that doesn't have value system. A good business is good for society. And I think our role has to be to run good businesses, successful businesses and responsible businesses.
I notice you're using your Unilever tagline pretty well. Mr. Parekh, that's one part of it, the role of your business. But leaders like yourself, Kumar, and everyone else here are participating in dialogue with the government. Yet you see situations led by Anna Hazare, who is actually on an anti-corruption drive, very successful, and he's managed the crowds on his side. He's got the right cause. So, I mean, these things will keep coming back to India.
No, they'll keep coming unless we come up with some laws in place where corruption, bribing is a crime. You get immediate imprisonment, you get a fine, as you have in other countries. Even the person who gives the bribe and the person who receives the bribe, both have to be put in the dock, and not just the receiver of the bribe. And many countries have adopted this, and I think if the industrialist or the entrepreneur is scared that he may have to go inside the jail, he would not like to bribe. But today, if he is caught, only the person who receives the bribe goes in. So I think if we come out with some legislation which is workable, efficient, I think we can get over this.
Okay, there's a big if there. Zia Modi, we are also at one level seeking transparency, governance, both corporate and government. And at the same time, we are a little complacent about the growth, because we know no matter what happens, we will manage to survive. That's been the story for India for some time now.
But I think that even if that is the case, you can't take away the proposition that if you have governance, you can do even better. So while you can have your complacent curve, which is your safety margin simply because of the demography and India just growing as it is, as a business per se, for that business itself, if you have the correct systems, both the business drivers and the value structure in place, surely that business can outperform the business Sensex, so to say.
Well, of course, that would be the ideal situation. Two things, Kumar, that you want this government to deliver on.
Well, I think partnering with the industry, understanding the problems of industry and proactively going out and finding solutions to those. And the other big one is corruption. I think that, that's an issue that needs to be addressed. But at the same time, you can't put growth on hold until corruption as an issue is resolved.
Corruption won't be resolved overnight, Anand. You know that, and everyone else does too. So what could the government do to actually try and, let me say, encourage what is going right? What, according to you, could that be?
Well, I have only one request from the government. That is, let's get back to work. Let's start earning our pay, everybody. And the government is included in that. We just want decisions. And when the government takes decisions here, let's not be unjust over there to them. Decisions stick, templates get formed, and India moves ahead.
Yeah.
I remember when I first came back, Deepak, remember there was this whole craze about no investment's going to come because of dematting of shares. That was the big thing, depositories. And as if it was, India was going to explode unless there would be dematting of shares wasn't done. But it gets done, and then it sticks. And we move from, we're like climbers of rock faces. We just hammer in a piton, we move up. It takes an awful lot of time. But when we take decisions, they stick, and India's institutions change. So I just need the government to get back to work, and I'm confident that the right decisions and the right templates will be made.
Jamie, does that sound like an optimistic note? You think that the government in India needs to really get this...
I'm having enough trouble with my own government to start lecturing your government what to do. Yeah. So, look, I've always believed that good policy, good corporate governance, good governance out of the democracies have always been critical. In fact, we did a little thing comparing countries. And so you would put India, South Korea, Brazil on this side. I won't name all the others. We do business in a lot of them. But look what they've done to themselves. And a lot of it was corruption, bad government, bad corporate governance, or just people who were so selfish about, they're making money for themselves, but no one for anyone for their people. And it's true. And I also love what you said. It's how good can you be? Let's just not accept average. There's too many people suffering in India and in the United States and around the world that we should accept, okay, well, that's the way it's going to be because we don't know better. We actually know better. I would tell you, if you set most people around, we know what to do. And I'm not saying we, the business. The right things are there. It's the will. We kind of know the way.
So if you got 2 minutes with the Prime Minister of India today, what is the one thing you're going to tell him?
I would tell him to listen to some of the folks in this room.
Okay, Mr. Kamath, I'll give you the last word. What would you like to say to the government and, of course, to everyone who's here? Because eventually they're all stakeholders in the story.
I think what I heard the group talk about is what's really holding up growth, and what's holding up growth or is likely to hold up growth in the future are those 4 or 5 decisions that need to be taken in terms of things which are choking the pipeline of, let's say, infrastructure or manufacturing or industry. Address those as the key. We're talking of the overall economic context. I think the rest of the things the government is doing right, the private sector will do right, and things will fall in place. But these could be things which could derail us. Get those right.
Do what you're supposed to, get back to work, and of course leave business to do business. That's a wrap on this discussion, gentlemen, and of course Ms. Modi, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
पिताजी आप जा रहे हो?
दिवाली की खरीदारी जो करनी है बेटा, मैं तुम्हारी बूढ़ी माँ के लिए
माइक्रोवेव ओवन, दीदी के लिए एक लैपटॉप और मेरे लिए लेटेस्ट सेलफोन।
बेटा
हाँ डैडी हाँ।
अब चैनल बदलो और बनो स्टार सीजे दिवाली का शॉपिंग स्टार। दिस दिवाली शॉप ऑन स्टार सीजे अलाइव, विन अ लिविंग रूम मेकओवर, थाईलैंड ट्रिप, 20 ग्राम सोना एंड मोर।
स्टार सीजे अलाइव?
हाँ डैड हाँ।
स्टार सीजे अलाइव।
He took the Ford Endeavour off-road and life just wasn't the same anymore.
Unbelievable. Can do almost everything on automatic transmission. The off-roading capability is fabulous. Sat-nav has beautiful features. The kids are really thrilled with the DVD player. Safety, stability is great. Suspension of this vehicle is so good. The gaddas are like gaddas.
It's time for you to give me the keys back.
Which keys?
Oof. बहुत हो गया. I can't shop anymore.
अभी तो टीवी बाकी है.
भीड़ देखिए मार्केट में. I'll buy from Flipkart.com.
ऑनलाइन.
Yeah, और फिर हमें सबसे ज्यादा डिस्काउंट भी मिलेगा. I can buy you a gift with the money saved.
क्या ला दोगे मुझे?
Dollhouse.
Best prices on all products. Flipkart.com, the online mega store.
TV.